We got a doggy.
Oh, doggies.
They gotta
Let me
protect
tell
the
her.
house, from the mailman.
I know.
Better watch out. Alrighty, looking like we are live. We got the protector dog in the background.
Get the dogs! Get the dogs!
The dogs are coming.
That's how we started off.
There it is. Welcome in, buddy. I'm excited for this one. This is gonna be a fun stream. And dude, like your life has been absolutely nuts, and I'm not sure how much people know about what your life has been the last couple months, but yeah. So obviously some news came out. What was that, announced Tuesday? I think it was announced Tuesday.
I think it was like Tuesday. Yeah.
So without further ado, Greg, tell me about what's going on that was announced Tuesday, because this is probably a dream come true for you, slightly, a little bit too. No?
It is. So I'll tell you what happened. I'll kind of work backwards from there.
Right.
But I'm fortunate enough to have a segment in Formula Drift now called Grid Walk. It's going to be the 1 hour leading up to Top 32.
Yeah.
And I get to walk the grid, the hot grid, right before these drivers go into Top 32 battle. I get to capture their nerves, frustrations, everything that you see as a driver, or that we see as a driver that maybe the spectators don't see. And we get to capture that on camera for the first time. Because whether you know it or not, there's like two sets of nerves that I think every driver has. It's right before qualifying. Every time a driver right before qualifying, it's kind of like, all right, got to put it down. But once they get qualified behind them, you have Top 32. And no driver wants to lose in Top 32. That's when you get to see kind of who you would be paired up against, how your day is going to look, how tough it could be, how easy it could be.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, the hour before Top 32 is one of the most stressful hours in Formula Drift. You walk around and like nobody wants to talk. Everybody's getting their game plan together. Final nuts and bolts. Drivers are pacing. Matt Field's doing push-ups. It's that hour, and I'm going to go up there with the camera. I'm going to go up there with a microphone. And I'm going to disrupt it all. And I cannot wait.
Dude, it's going to be it's crazy because you have to think, like, so obviously Lorette, what you and say Lorette did,
mm-hmm.
or whoever's going to be doing that this year, like, is completely different. So she's coming after someone right after a battle, usually the person that won, and it's structured. You have a certain like kind of time you got to fit your questions in, all this kind of stuff. You have no limits, it sounds like. You're just like, they're just like, free bird, go. Have fun.
This is my first conversation I got to have with Ryan Sage. I said, Ryan, before we continue much further, what person do you want to see, or what type of Gregg do you want to see? How muzzled do I need to be? Like, where are my limits? What do you want me to do? Because currently the only form of like drifting, I guess Formula Drift media that I do is drifting in 60 seconds. It's Formula Drift in 60 seconds. I give 60-second recaps on what happened in the previous round on Mondays. And they're pretty unhinged. These drivers, again, are extremely talented, first and foremost. Most of them are extremely talented. Some of them I could probably take in my SR20. Second off, they're my peers, they're my friends. So some of it may come off rude, but I can tell you right now, it's out of just, these are my buddies, and we're talking trash, just like you and your friends do in your living rooms or garages. So I get to do that, put it out on the internet. And I've only gotten into like 2 fist fights since the start of it, but luckily I can run fast.
The question is, did you win? That's all that matters.
Ryan was like, no, we want Gregg Bucell. We want you without a muzzle, asking the questions. I'm sure there's limitations, like I can't curse, I can't really down upon too much, obviously, which is not what I'm trying to do in the first place. Right. But I do want to go out there and ask the legitimate questions, like I don't want to tiptoe around really like the hard questions. Now, Long Beach Top 32, trust me, I've thought about the questions coming into the round. I don't want to shake somebody up too much right before they go out for their first competition of the year.
Right.
I don't want to go like, are you worried about losing your seat? You you don't perform today, you might get fired. What's your title?
Right.
I'm not trying to dig too much into that. However, there's a few things on there where I could really capture some of the stressors and have the driver build upon that with a couple questions.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, here's the other thing too. You gotta remember, these guys, like, they don't want to talk too. That's the crazy part. Like, this is the time where they do not want to talk, and you're gonna be like,
right.
Hi, and it's kind of it's gonna be a very interesting dynamic. I don't think we've ever seen before when it comes to interacting with drivers and stuff. Because
right.
for me, I do interviews with drivers all the time around product stuff and whoever I need to do videos for and whatnot. But obviously, I don't do this while they're battling. We usually pick a time after practice or something, or like before the event where we are, doing these things. They're in a comfortable environment. They're not gonna like this is. I'm excited for this because it is, like you said, the worst time to interview someone.
I don't think I'm gonna lose friends. I don't think I'm gonna make any new friends by this position in some cases. But no, I think, and it's not gonna all be just grilling these drivers either. A lot of it's gonna be, especially going into the first round. I want to find out. Yeah, I want to find out the other stuff that maybe Lorette might not talk about. What it took to get to round one. There's drivers, as you know of, that are putting in hard hours right now as we're doing this podcast, and they still have to travel cross country. There are drivers right now without liveries on their car. There's drivers right now without engines in their cars.
I was going to say, I know some with no engines right now. So
yeah, there's some without engines. Some of our good friends popped engines in testing in the past couple weeks, and it's not just pulling an engine and putting an engine in. It's getting an engine built, finding somebody that could even do it if you're not an engine builder. There's a lot to even get to Long Beach. So I think every driver kind of won. It already had like a victory in some case scenario if they perform and get to the line. So I do want to congratulate them. At the same time, I feel like I could do more push-ups than Matt Field. So we're going to try that out. He knows too. I was like, brother, I think it's just all talk.
Coming for him, man. No, it's you bring up Matt Field. There's some fun new news that came out the last couple of days we're going to talk about. But the next aspect of this is, and just to kind of remind people, so your program's going to be on the Racer app and all that kind of stuff. You want to just kind of give a quick explainer on like your program specifically and kind of how that kind of fits in with FD overall.
Absolutely. So the FD weekend or Saturday is going to start out with the grid walk, which is going to be my segment available on the Racer Network. Right. You get on the Racer app. There's a couple different ways that you could actually watch that show, that program. Top 32 is going to be back on YouTube, just like normal. And then for the top 16, they're going to focus back in on that Racer app. Now, I mean, I'm not oblivious to kind of the talk around the Racer app and the transition from a platform that we've been so used to for so many years. Again, it's been on YouTube where you just kind of click it on and there it is. It's easy. It's this, it's that. I get it. It's free. It's accessible to everybody. That's how it's been. And the biggest thing about, I think, everything I just said is it's free. It's always been free.
Yep.
For years and years and years and years. So I don't think Formula Drift is trying to get their viewers to start paying to watch Formula Drift from their homes. However, Formula Drift is trying to definitely legitimize their series more, get a bit more viewers in that maybe might be outside of a normal Formula Drift driver or viewer. Because again, I think the predominant amount of live stream viewers are definitely drifting fans or know of drifting.
Yep.
And I think there's a handful of people that are scrolling and are like, what's this live event? Now, I think when Racer comes on and goes on to cable TV, because again, it's going to be on cable networks, there's going to be a lot more people scrolling going, even I've heard of Tokyo Drift. What is this? And then now you have an organic new viewer to our sport. It also opens up the possibilities for partners and sponsors or advertisers that aren't car related to kind of work their way in. And that's like one of the hardest things that we've been fighting for the whole time I can think of Formula Drift. when we think about the inception, you had people like Sears. They were title sponsoring cars. Circuit City was doing things back in the day. These non-heavy automotive or automotive influenced companies saw like the drive in this new sport. And I think we're going to get that again going with this Racer TV. Now, it's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a transition period for sure.
Yeah.
I see the frustrations. I understand the frustrations definitely for the viewer. At the same time, Formula Drift isn't going to do anything that's hurtful for their company. Right. Formula Drift isn't trying to sabotage themselves by any means. So I see some of the comments and I have to go, hold on, guys. We all have apps on our phone. We know how to work apps. If you really want to watch it, get an app. Now, I have apps for my doorbell. I've got apps for the lights in this room. I've got apps that I haven't pulled up in years. Nonetheless, I've got apps. And is it another app I have to download? Yeah. It's going to take me 15 seconds, and here we are. I get to watch Formula Drift. So it doesn't really upset me so much. And again, it's free. Now, if it was paid, that's a whole nother argument. But this is free for the viewer still. And yes, us drifters also, we might be the youngest form of motorsport, but we are old heads. We don't like things changing.
Right. No, it's true. Well, here's the thing. So I was pretty annoyed on Tuesday, I'll admit. But there's some things that have come out that make a lot of sense. And I think if FD would have led with some of this other stuff, I think a lot more people would have been on board earlier. And I just want to shed some light on it, and I'll let people, people can still be mad about this, and they're still going to be mad, which is fine. But I want to add some context that I don't think FD added right away. So I'm going to bring up Ryan Sage's comment that I found on Facebook. And he says, this is just a response to, pretty standard criticism for the switch over. But I think what this comment shows is at least where possibly we're going to see some return as a customer. And that's, I think, just as important. And I think FD needs to tell people about this and make it very public that the reason they're able to do some of this stuff that we're going to talk about is because they're going onto this program. And they need to reiterate, hey, you guys are also getting some stuff out of this since we're doing this deal with Racer. So I'll go ahead and read Ryan Sage. So obviously going over the fact that we can never grow if the series cannot show the value of their media rights. We're stuck. What we've done is essentially unprecedented. We did a media rights deal that does not involve a mandatory pay to view, which is very true. It is very rare, very, very rare that you do a media rights deal and somehow you do not have exclusive rights, or like where you have exclusive rights but you don't have to pay for it. That is very, very rare. So he makes a very good point there. He says, we added massive guaranteed distribution, a driver revenue program. Okay, so let's start with the first point. Guaranteed distribution.
Every driver switch.
Yes.
Every driver's going to get paid. They're going to be rich.
Just like you were saying earlier, you do add a quote-unquote new audience. I don't know if it's a bigger audience. I think personally there's a debate on whether or not it's a bigger audience. I don't think it is, but it could be a new audience, okay? I will give him that. A driver revenue program. This is the first time I've ever heard about this, and the fact that FD has not said anything about this is like, guys, you need to tell people why we're doing this. That's huge. Having a driver revenue program, and everybody in the drifting industry knows how hard some of these guys are barely making it out to these weekends. They're scraping every dollar together that they can. I mean, we've lost a bunch of drivers just because they couldn't make it this year because of all the increased expenses and stuff. This is very important information that I think people need to know. They say, hey, we're going to try and help the drivers out because of this deal to have more drivers be able to afford to do Formula Drift so we have a more exciting competition. This is very important. Next point. Paid for telemetry and got 2 new production trucks, all for the cost of, or to the consumer. I can read, I promise. Of what? So all of the Wally stuff is now being paid for because of this deal. Why was this not stated earlier? Okay, we all wanted the Wally system.
That system is extremely expensive.
Exactly.
And it takes more personnel to also use it. It takes personnel to train. It's developer it's
yes.
Let you go.
Yes.
Because
because here's the thing.
Found out is it's not cheap.
This is something now. personally, okay, I'll leave this topic for a later date. But what I'm saying overall right now is there is improvements to the live stream because of this deal. FD needs to tell people this. Like, you can't just say, hey, we are going to make this product less accessible to the average viewer that viewed it previously and give them no good reason for it. And be like, yeah, we're just going to make it more inconvenient for you because we want to. And of course they're going to be upset about it. But but that's how it came out when they announced it. So now that there's stuff like this and you have to go search out a comment to find out some of this information, like, this should be broadcasted with the announcement. Because we have this Racer deal, we now are able to do really cool driver telemetry that will be on this stream. That's an add-on to the stream. They've also added 2 new production trucks where they're going to be able to do slow-mo. I don't know if it's on this comment, but he also said it in other areas. They're going to be doing cool slow-mo stuff, just like Drift Masters now. Okay, so this is a very important information that people need to know, and then so now people have more of a context of why this is happening. Now you can decide whether or not making this switch to download another app, which is free, to get a little bit, well, I would say a lot better production value out of a live stream. If that's worth it to you, then it makes sense, okay? If you still want to be mad about it, you can still be mad about it, but this is a reason why they have made the switch. And I think this is very important to broadcast, and I feel like if FD is listening, broadcast this information because this is very important. I feel like
it's not an uneducated viewer by any means. The viewers of Formula Drift know very much the ins and outs of Formula Drift, and a lot of them are diehards. I think it's the uninformed viewers that are upset. Because if you told the viewers you're going to get a better experience now, even the grid walk that I get to host, it is now able to happen because of this merge. We were never able to get like live stream content eons away in the hot pits. You go to Road Atlanta at the top of the grid, it's not going to meet the media trailer that's all the way down in the pits, over a hill, through the crowd, through the woods. And now, because of the 2 media trailers, now we can do things like this. And I'm sure any viewer can see there's times with Lorette where she would have difficulties with the stream or even communicating back to the tower. Maybe she may talk over Jared or the next battle coming up because they can't communicate with each other.
Right.
But now they can. And that's just like a small portion of what's going on. The amount of manpower that's going inside these trailers now that are going to be able to update and cut from camera and get to the best show possible, slow-mo, in-car. Everybody always says, why don't they do in-car? You know what?
It's 20 grand an event.
It's infrastructure. And infrastructure is not free. And now they're going to be able to do a much better show.
Exactly. And so I'm excited, dude. This gives me like a reason for why they make the change. And I think and you can already see in the chat, people are like, okay, this is cool. Thank you for telling me.
But there's still questions.
But there's obviously still questions. There's like,
welcome.
How can I get this on my TV to work right now? Because I can't personally find an app right now. But hopefully there will be more information that comes out by the time we get to FD and stuff like that. There will also be the FD app that's going to be on it as well. But again, I just wanted to point this out before we get too much further into it. I want to talk about Gregg because Gregg is here for a limited time, and obviously you got a lot of cool stuff going on. So, yeah.
Limited time only.
Yes.
But yeah. So I do want to kind of work backwards now from this conversation.
Yes.
And there's something I have to say. And this opportunity I got to work with Formula Drift, it's something I've wanted since I was a child. Going to my first Formula Drift event, I skipped high school, went to FD Atlanta, and was just blown away. It was the first time I saw like live wire come to life. I saw, the stuff I was downloading on my computer actually happening in front of me. And I knew that's where I wanted to be. And you can kind of see by around my room and stuff there, I've played a role in Formula Drift throughout my years, but I've never been with Formula Drift. And I got this opportunity to announce this segment because of FD fans, and the FD fans supported me. And what I mean by that is Ryan Sage was getting text messages, he was getting phone calls, he was getting DMs about this. I said on a couple podcasts a while ago that I would really, really like to work at Formula Drift. I was transitioning from my old job into looking for something new. And my fiance, she asked me, and Lauren goes, now's a good time to start thinking about what you want to do and make sure you don't sell yourself short. So what's your pinnacle? What's your top job you want? What is your goal that you aim for, and you work back from there? I said, well, Formula Drift is the little kid in me wanted to do this. And I said it out to the public, out to the community, and the community heard. And I didn't call Ryan Sage. Ryan Sage called me and said, people have been calling me about you. And so I just have to say thank you to the Drift community for this opportunity, because without a doubt, like I want to cry, because I try and give as much as I can to the community, and to get rewarded with this was just like, right. It's so sick, man. Like, I get to go to Formula Drift, talk to my friends, talk to the drivers, talk to the teams, put spotlights on people that maybe were overshadowed in the past. The guy who changes the tires, that takes 8 weekends off a year, sometimes unpaid, just because he believes in his buddy. He thinks his buddy can get a trophy. And he believes in the program, and he's going unpaid. They're doing 2 a.m. nights, whatever it is, waking up in the morning, going back, working at a car dealership. This is not just one driver. This is multiple stories I've heard from so many people. I talked to a driver today. He said, 2 of my guys work for dealerships as master techs, and they bust their ass till 2 in the morning, and then they get back up at 6 a.m. to go to work, and then they're back at my house, and I'm not calling them. They're calling me to make sure that I got the tools or the parts or whatever to be installed, because they're going to be there after work. And dude, that's what drifting is so dope. I'm sorry. As far as like motorsports and what we have in our community, like, drifting is just this like really freaking cool thing where we just all support one another. And of course you see shade and hate and stuff like that, which is kind of like why some of the FD comments about the live stream kind of hurt a little bit. I want to shake everybody and go, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We still have FD. We still have the top 32. We still have the top 16. We still have Formula Drift. We got to change how we access it, but we're going to be okay, guys, because what we really genuinely care about, it's not the run of show. It's not the broadcast. It's not the stream. It's not the app. It's not how we get it or anything. It's the actual 2 cars on track, mano a mano, 2 drivers who gave it their all, built their own programs, drove cross country or across the world to be there. And they have those few seconds to put on a show for us. And we still have that. So I'm good. I'm good. And yeah, ultimately, like, that's, thank you, Drift community. Thank you, each and every person. And the support, I got nothing but great comments, except for one guy. There was one comment I read. He's like, this is, something. I'm unhappy with Greg, and I'm going to hit him up tonight. You know what? I'm going to DM him.
Oh my gosh. Greg, okay. Word of advice. Jacob has told me this. Do not read the live, like, any of the comments in the live stream. Don't read the comments. It's not good for the psyche. We've had this conversation on this show with Jacob about, like, brother, just it's better, just do the best job the best you can, and then you have your friends. If you're messing something up, your real friends will tell you, and then they'll let you know. But no, dude, like I said,
what about you? If there's one question you would want me to fire off during it, what would it be? Give me one question, any driver.
Dude, you're gonna put me on the spot like that, aren't you?
I'm gonna be put on the spot.
I know you're being put on the spot, but I mean, for me, it's I want to know how they're feeling. I want to know, like, how they're actually feeling, not like, oh, I'm gonna put on a face for the camera to show off for sponsors. I want to know if they're like, dude, like, this car, like, barely made it here. Like, it's like, we worked all day and all night, and it kind of has a half tune on it, and it's barely here, and we got to go battle James Dean. Dude, I want to know what they're feeling. Are they just excited? Are they pumped? They're like, dude, I get to drive against one of the greatest drivers of all time. Or are they like, dude, like, I'm so exhausted. I'm tired. Like, I want to know that,
Yeah. Yep. Because I'll tell you from personal experience, there's been times where we have to go into top 32 at Long Beach with a new car that we wadded into the wall in practice, and we have ratchet straps holding down the steering rack. And that driver at that time was so nervous, was so anxious, and just a ball of like, I don't know if I could pull this off, guys. And, it's okay, because I don't think Lorette has, and this is not a dish or anything against Lorette. I think she's a pro at what she does, and I respect her fully. Let that be known. Lorette is an amazing human being. But I don't think any of the drivers have told Lorette that they're nervous for the next battle. I don't think that any of the drivers have ever said, I'm just so anxious. I just want to get through it, or I just got to see James Dean, and then I think I could beat Odie, and he looks good. Like the vulnerability, I think is something where I might be able to get out of some of these drivers, or I hope I can, because as again, humbly, I'm one of their peers. I'm one of their friends. I've driven with some of these drivers, and I want them to talk to me like a conversation, not an interview.
Yeah, no, like you said, conversation is key. And when I do interviews, or when I do like videos with drivers, especially the prospect guys that are like just learning the interview process and stuff, I have to have a conversation with them, because I can't just do an interview. It's not like where you go and interview a Vaughn, where it's like you're talking to Vaughn and then all of a sudden camera shows up. He puts on that face and he knows how to talk and do the Vaughn thing, right?
Woo!
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just like a switch. But like, especially the newer guys, having a conversation, but you can get a lot of good stuff out of people if you're having that conversation style. And I'm excited to see that for sure. How did this like actually come about though? Like, when did you actually find out this was a thing? And like, dude, like, I'm sure there was like planned like months ahead and all that kind of stuff, right?
Brother, I found out the run a show yesterday. Okay, hey, I got message that the post was up from friends, and I was like, oh snap, it's legit. Like, here we are, it's Thursday, and I still don't have my plane fight booked because nothing was like locked in stone or anything yet.
Yeah.
It was a conversation that Sage and I had, respectfully, maybe about a month ago,
Wow.
maybe a little bit longer, but it didn't really get serious because again, the whole Racer Network stuff it's such a big ordeal that we don't know the ins and outs of. I definitely don't know of what it took to get that deal. And I think it was a mad dash to get everything done before round one. And we're here like a week before, and they know it's a week before. Formula Drift knows it's a week before Formula Drift. So I'm sure they wanted to make this post a long time ago, but we got to make sure everything lines up great before we could do anything. So once they did, I was the post right after them announcing, and that's how it kind of stacked up. I found out just like everybody else found out. I'm learning to run a show right now. Even you're asking me some questions, I'm like, I don't know if I could do this or not. Like I have to kind of figure this out. I know I'm going to wear a fancy new backpack that has a transmitter thing and a beacon and headphones that are going to be fitted for me. And I get a cameraman and a director. And I'm going to go walk around, but I got to keep my back pointed towards the trailer if I can, which I'm going to – that's going to be hilarious. I'm just going to try and walk – I don't know how I'm going to do that, but try to keep the backpack pointed. And that's about the run of show. That's about most I know right now. And luckily it doesn't intimidate me or discourage me about what I'm going to do. I think I'm more of I think I'm going to do great just having conversations with these guys because, again, I have nothing but respect for the dudes, and I really just want to put a mic in the face. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you really feel.
All right.
Yeah,
dude, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. All right, we got 30 minutes left, so I know there's one topic we want to get to at some point in the show, but before we get to that, give me some quick highlights going into the season. What are you looking forward to? Drivers, programs, cars. Give me just like one or two like really interesting things. I know there's a bunch going on, but like what are you excited for?
I'll be quick because I could go all 30 minutes about this. One of the highlights is the Rookie of the Year race. And the reason I like the Rookie of the Year race that we have going on right now is it's 3 drivers, but it's 3 drivers that we watch transition from pro spec in. So it's not like we have Hero coming in or something like that, just this person that we're like, oh crap, he's going to dominate, a person that we're not familiar with, maybe like a Shanahan coming in as a rookie. There's a lot of what we have right now is we have these 3 drivers. We watch them grow through Formula Drift.
Yep.
We watch their skill grow with the sport. And so we have Cole Richards, Nate Chen, and Corey Buchanan. Cody Buchanan. Sorry.
Cody
sorry.
Buchanan. You got
Sorry.
it. You got it. You got
Yeah,
it. It's okay. We're not actually live right now, so it's all good. We're not live at all, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah. Oh, are we? so anyways, those 3 drivers are extremely talented and deserve to drive pro, hands down. Now, how are they going to stack up? Every time we saw them battle one another in Pro Spec, it was a show. Mm-hmm. It was an absolute show. All 3 of those drivers have completely different styles. You have Nate Chen. Nate Chen is a line driver. He knows how to do his line. He knows exactly where he needs to hit it, when he needs to hit it. So, but I would argue that he may not be on the stylish side of drifting. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you have Cole Richards, the other side of it. Heavy style, heavy right foot, big smoke screens, but not always hitting the line where he needs to be. We've seen in Utah, he dropped a tire in top 32 and knocked him out of the championship run. Okay. And then you have Buchanan. So now you have a consistent driver where he may not be podium every round, and not that he's not a podium driver, but he can put up great performances back to back to back to back. The car's reliable and he's doing what he's doing. Yep. So now you have these 3 drivers coming in, and we're going to see which one of those formulas is going to work out the best. They're equally, I would say all 3 of those are around the same skill range, completely different way of getting around the track.
Yep.
So this is going to be fun.
That's a cool.
I think so. I think there's a lot of pressure on some drivers also. This year was very hard on partnerships. It was very hard for a lot of drivers to maintain sponsors and partners or look out for new ones. So you have people like Ben Hobson, where Ben knows he has to step it up this year. He's got the cherry pot ride of the century, RTR. He's got his car, arrive and drive. He's driving constantly, whether it's his demo car or the pro car. He's consistently always driving. And I believe that he 110% deserves that seat. We saw what he did in Pro Spec. You cannot deny that he is a ripper. And we see what the adaptation period looks like going into one of these RTRs. We saw LZ, one of the best drivers in the world. One of the best drivers in the world go into the RTR car. And up until New Jersey a couple of years ago in his last season, he had a hard time getting that car around the track.
Yep.
Who else have we seen drive those RTRs? Even Chelsea. Chelsea started out with a hard time.
Yeah.
James Dean did have a hard time in that car starting out.
Mm-hmm.
So once it clicks, though, I think Ben's going to be somebody to watch for sure.
All right.
For sure.
That's cool.
So those are 2 things I'm excited. Shanahan's on a new team, so I'm excited to see what he could do in that because I think they've really reworked his car a good bit for more his style.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then not to take away from Rome Chapartier's team, they're his cars are just multiplying like babies. They're
right.
I don't every time it's funny because I'm not a massive BMW guy, but that Garagistic. Am I saying that right? Yeah, that's a big company. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of drift cars out there right now, not just with Rome. Yep. I was watching Hot Pit. Again, every time I'm seeing it with similar liveries. Rome is also he has done insane things in very ill-prepared cars. under modified. I don't know how you say it, but some of the cars Rome used to drive were kind of hoopties. And that dude throw down. So I'm excited to see him and what he does. I know he's got a fresh rebuild and stuff like that going on. Matt Field looks good. But again, we got James Dean. If Formula Drift is basically, are you better than James Dean?
Exactly. Yeah. No.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I'll put my hat in the ring. Guy I'm interested in Long Beach specifically. Jack Shanahan. Will he have a car?
He's good at these. So they went testing at Mid Pond this last weekend. Okay. And things look good. But if you know anything about Mid Pond, it's like testing an F1 car at a monster truck derby. Oh, Jack! Oh my God, Jack Shanahan. Okay, the other one, Jack Shanahan.
Building a car in 2 weeks.
It's not going to work. I'm going to say it's not going to work because it's not. Again, Formula Drift is a beautiful sport because they're saying pick whatever freaking platform you want, take whatever engine you want. Do it. Basically, make it as stylish as you want. Run 20-inch wheels, 15-inch wheels. We don't care. Okay, now you have to build something that meets your needs in 2 weeks around a very loose rule book, with every other car making 1,200 horsepower and sometimes eons of R&D behind it. So even if they get it to work, it's not gonna work. It's gonna fall. Let's say the engine holds up. Let's say his drivetrain package holds up. Let's say it all just holds up. It's gonna take time for him to find that car's rear grip. It's going to take time for that driver to learn how to drive at lock with the car. It's going to take a whole, and then learn the whole system of how Formula Drift judges now as well, which is not too different from others, but like we have different eyes than say like Drift Masters or D1. We judge drifting different than they do. So he's going to have to learn that style. And you're going to Long Beach, without a doubt, the car eater track of the century.
Yep.
So if he screws up or doesn't find that rear grip or any of those things I just mentioned, for a split second he's in the wall.
Yep.
So I wish him the best, but like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna be one of those things where we see him come around turn 1 in chase position, and he's like on the dude's door, and then the lead car just keeps pulling. Yeah. You know, it's just you just see R&D take off. I hope I put my foot in my mouth and the dude comes away with a win, because I'm excited about these drivers coming in. But
yeah, it's
and he's not a rookie of the year either. We got to remember that. This ain't his first ball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
no, it'll be interesting when he made that video. Like literally, it was like 10 days ago, of a shell just sitting there. I'm like, brother. Brother.
And we saw the closest thing is like LZ coming from St. Louis, but he reshelled. So he already had.
Yeah, and he's also got a how many man team, and you know, like I don't know how many people were working on Jack's car, but I guarantee it's less than Adam. You know. Yeah, definitely. And to like build the car in 2 weeks, it's even just to get the parts needed in 2 weeks. It doesn't even matter about things getting overnighted or anything. Anybody who's built a car to this caliber knows that like your brain is not going to remember everything you need along the way. Exactly. So you're going to be missing things, and you're like, oh shoot, I need to go get this part, and then there's going to be some rare BMW part that they can't buy at the AutoZone. So it's just like. Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be like, well, I guess we're shipping it to Long Beach, and we'll ship a car that's not finished to Long Beach, and they'll finish it at Long Beach. That's what's going to happen.
I've seen people test at Long Beach, and it never works. Yeah. And you have too. We all have. We've seen people try and shake down their car for the first time at Long Beach, and it never works. It's just
it's going to be interesting.
Never get them far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
You gotta know your chassis.
Yeah, so we got to keep moving here because we don't have a lot of time. All right, give me a top three. Top three.
Oh, finish. Top three. Matt Field's going to be in there. For sure. Yeah. I want to see. Not Hero. What's the other guy that Jerry Gang's been working with, and he's really good? He did a really good performance in Utah. And he was talking to
Manoa. Masayama.
No, not Hero Manoa, but Masayama. I want to see Masayama get in there. Now, I can't say he's going to top 3. I can't. But I think he's going to top 3 this season. Hey, you should top 8.
Okay.
I love that he used to have a piece of crap S15, and he was competing in it.
But it looks sick, okay?
Oh my god, it was the coolest car. It was so cool. But like if you look inside the car, you're like, this is a street car. This is a street car with like a quick change at the dog box, and you're like, okay, guy. So no, Matt Field's in there because I think Matt Field wants it the most. Turk has always performed good. There was one year where Turk totaled his car going into qualifying, but like he's always performed good at the box. Odie is going to be a tough bet this year. I think it's going to take Odie some time to play catch up in his new chassis.
Right.
Additionally, Odie would fall in my top 3.
Well, that's why I talked. That's what we're just doing Long Beach. Just doing Long Beach. Okay.
Okay. All right. My heart says Turk. Turk. Matt Field wants it more than anybody else. And I want to throw an upset in there.
I'd say Turk's kind of an upset at this point for me.
Stop, he is. But stop. Don't talk about my boy that way.
I love Turkey.
I think oh, fuck yeah. You know what? I'm going to throw somebody that we kind of have forgotten about, but has no problem climbing the ranks. He's doing media day. He's got the testing behind him. He's got the car. He's got the program. I'm going to say Chris Forsberg.
Ooh.
People forget that Chris Forsberg used to be the person that only win. He used to be the only person that would win back in the day.
Right.
Yeah. And the Kenda's a good tire. The Kenda's a good tire. I think he's going to, because he's comfortable in the chassis. The engine is ironed out. I'm going to go Chris Forsberg, Matt Field, and then, Turk.
All right.
But I'm gonna change that the day of practice, because once you see the cars roll off the trailer, they do first and second like practice runs. You're like, oh, gotta change my top. You can see it when a driver comes off the trailer ready and they're hitting the zones, and everybody else is trying to play catch up to them. Yep.
Hell yeah.
What's your top three?
I said Dean, LZ, Field, but not in that order. I said Field first, Dean second, LZ third.
LZ goes hard, and LZ drives a lot of cars.
And you saw his car. Did you see his car in testing?
Yeah, it looks good. He's settled. Yeah, and like testing is like in his front yard now too, and that's tight and technical. Like we talked about Long Beach being about walls. If he goes wide or shallow, it's a palm tree. So like he gets it. He knows what it takes to be snappy and quick.
Yeah.
And then there's also the people that I want to see win, but
right. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm curious to see who benefits the most from qualifying. That's another topic that will be interesting to see. But we don't have a ton of time left, so I want to keep moving on here. I know it's really easy for us to just stick on a topic, but I did want to show you one thing. Get your opinion. I can pull it up correctly here. We got a livery announcement. If you can see that, I think you've already seen it though. Matt Fields dropped the livery. I think it was yesterday.
Yep.
Buddy.
Okay.
Buddy, come on.
So it's not okay. Okay. First, Factory 83, Ian designed it, and Ian is a good friend of mine.
Dude,
I talked to him last
sick
night
liveries
for a while.
Factory 83 does great
liveries.
He
does the sickest liveries. Factory 83 is going to be doing my livery. They do Hertz liveries over at Nappy Automotive. He has delivered some. I mean, people argue that Powers had one of the best liveries of all time. Guess who? So Factory 83's been doing liveries forever, and he's always done Matt Field's livery. So if you don't like the livery this year, guess what? It's the same person who did it last year. So
I know. I'm just want to know. Correction. This is a question you need to ask Matt Field. What's going on with the livery, boss?
Well, it's sinister and it's black.
Is this just his heart now? Is this his heart?
Okay, we'll say I.
No, come back, buddy. He'll jump back in. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, brother, this looks like it's a half-done livery. All right, here he is. He's back.
Bitch.
All right, you're good. But yeah, no, dude.
Son of a bitch, half-done livery, isn't it?
It is. Like there's nothing on the front bumper hood apart from the line around the splitter.
It doesn't look bad. Let's say that though. Does it look bad?
Well,
no.
Corvettes look good in general, but like, I just it's one thing if it was a color and it was all one color, but it's black, and that's the hard part,
That car with no livery per se is gonna whoop the shit out of a lot of people this year.
Oh, dude, it will. Yeah,
so
I know.
Not concerned about that. I know, but it is just a black Corvette and like his stickers on it. And Ian, I love him to death. Again, the guy who designed it says, I think a lot of people are gonna hate on it. Blah 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 blah. Sure, because you know what? We're in drifting and we're used to like. Here's like ice cream cones on the side of the car. Here's animal. Here's flames. Here's sparks and sprinkles and like all kinds of crap in the livery. And we're used to that. The hot pinks and the greens and the how do you stand out? It's a very drifting's got a certain style to it. And that looks like a road race car. That looks like a proper road race car.
It does. Yeah.
When you see his driver suit, I'll tell you this as a teaser, when you see the driver suit and the rig, the livery makes sense. But
okay.
I'm gonna let Matt Field release that. Yep.
All right. We'll see how it goes. All right. We got about over 15 minutes left, so I think it's time to get into the new topic that people don't know about. that we can announce here, and I'm super like, I don't low key. I'm kind of giddy right now. So, would you like to
this
tell
topic,
people what's going on?
So this topic is actually the biggest, I would say the biggest move I've made in many, many years, even above the FD1. Not to overshadow the Formula Drifting, but I joined the team at Link ECU, and I'll be starting on Monday. And I am so excited to work for a company that invests so much time, effort, monetary, however you want to look at, support in the sport that I love so much, which is drifting. Link ECU. So when I left this is an actual fact. When I was leaving my last job, there was only one company I applied for. There's only one company that I wanted to work for, and it was Link. And I did have conversations with other companies, and they were great conversations. I even had some offers from dream jobs, but for multiple reasons, I wanted to work at Link ECU. And I would say at the top of all the reasons, what they do for us and the community and everything else, is the employees that work for Link. You may, a person out there, they shouldn't know all the employees at Link, but they're my friends.
Right.
They're much like yourself. We were friends well before this.
Mm-hmm.
The people that work at Link USA are drifters just like us, and they are so knowledgeable, and they are the kindest, nicest people in the world. A lot of the employees that work at Link had very successful companies of their own, and went over to the Link side, and they've stayed there for years. And I knew that's something where I was like, okay, if they're doing that, that's something I want to do. As time went on, I had been talking to Jason over at Link, which is now going to be my boss. Your boss too, right?
Yep, he's my boss. Yeah.
Our boss. Okay. I've been talking to our boss since PRI, and it was a long time unfolding. I think you were talking to Jason as well for a long time before you got the job, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was about a year and a half.
So the cool thing is I'll be getting to work with shops. And so I'll be doing sales manager for the East Coast. And what that means is I'm coming from a shop background. I know what sales reps look like. I know like the normal guy just coming in unannounced, bringing donuts and, hey, I'm with so-and-so oil company. Why aren't you selling my product? That's not who I want to be. I want to be in there and say, hey, dude, we got a superior product. You want to make some money together? We have a product that I truly believe in too. This is something that we've slapped on all these trophies up here are prospect trophies. Guess what? We were on Link ECU with them. It's a product that I know and I trust, and it got us through there to get these trophies.
Yep.
That's it. Like, I knew what it took. I know what holding that trophy, how much happiness it brought to me, and I want other people to feel that as well. Whether it's a trophy or a weekend out with your boys and the car just stays together and it doesn't overheat, or if it does overheat, you see the warning, or if you need this, you need logging, everything's there for you. It's easy to work. And this is not a plug for Link at all. I haven't even done my onboarding yet, but like their plug and play systems are sick. At my last job, the amount of JZX 100 plug and plays we sold was insane. Like you don't need a jumper harness or anything. And now you got standalone, and that's
cool, man.
That's so much money. Yeah, dude.
They do cool stuff, and like what I liked about Link in joining them was the reputation among drifters in the industry that we work in. What booth does everyone hang out at PRI? It's the Link booth. Everyone comes. We go hang out at PRI. I see all my friends, even guys that are sponsored by other ECU companies. They can still come to the Link booth and hang out because we're all buddies. And like this is why I love this industry so much, and why I like working with Link so much, is because that passion just comes out in everything we do. And it's been a really good time. I've been there, I think, 2 or 3 years now, officially, 3 years, and dude, it's been awesome. And like when they told me we were adding you, I was so pumped, dude. I was like, no way we got you. I was like, hell yeah. So
I was so hyped, and thank you. Yeah, the company's based out of New Zealand, so that was another thing is I love Atlanta. I love my home, and I've built something amazing here with my fiance, and I wasn't ready to leave Georgia. And I did, looking at that, I had to look at Atlanta-based companies or remote company. And again, not to take away from any Atlanta-based companies, but they were just not they weren't the perfect fit for me. They
Yep.
weren't, what I want. And then I did have an interview with corporate, and one of my first questions was, what's my opportunities to grow? Because I'm honored to have the job title that I have right now as East Coast Sales Manager. I think that is amazing. How do I climb to get that next job? How do I climb to get that next job? And they were actually kind of impressed because I do want to give back to this community so much, where I don't want to be just East Coast. I don't want to be US. I want to do as much as I can. And that's where my brain immediately went, was like, Drift Masters, that's insane. And look at how many cars are on Link. Look at where it is. Look at the partnerships that they have over there in Japan. Look at the partnerships with Link that they've established. I want to go to Japan. I want to go eat ramen. I want to go see drifting. I want to go. Yeah, that's a company I want to work with. And then there's the UK. They have a UK office.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about the UK, but I feel like it would be sick.
Yeah, no, we
put me to New Zealand or Japan.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be fun, man. There's a lot of cool stuff that we end up doing, and there's a lot of cool opportunities, and that Link has given me, for example. So it's super exciting, and having you come on is gonna be good just from your personality, and like I'm excited to see what we can do to kind of create some cool content, because let's be honest, you have a personality that, and this is why FD wanted to hire you too, is because you have the personality to just like it's almost like a heartwarming personality that I can feel like I can trust you. I can talk to you. I can talk to you about the emotional side of things, which is again why I'm really excited about the FD side of things, because we don't get that out of drivers. We don't get that out of a lot of people, and you put it on your sleeve, and it's awesome to see. Like, I don't know, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. That I didn't really have a point there. I was just excited and whatnot. But
well, I really appreciate that. I'm humbled.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever apologize for the things I say, but I am unapologetically myself. If that makes any sense at all. There is a line I know not to cross, but at the same time, I am myself, and I think people see that. I'm goofy. I'm just me. I'm just trying to be me. I'm not a character. I swear to you. I just want to be me. I want to burn tires the rest of my life with my friends, and I want to support the companies that support us. And Formula Drift is one of those companies, and Link ECU is one of those companies.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't be happier. Yeah. I mean, when I first started looking for jobs when I was 16 years old, I was like, I started doing car stereos because I knew, like, I got to do car stuff.
Right.
Where can I work at 16 years old to start doing car stuff? And I never went backwards. I never did a non-car job.
Right.
It's been cars.
Yeah.
And, it hasn't been easy. I've definitely busted my butt, bragging on myself a bit. I've busted my ass to kind of get where I am. There's much like all of us in the industry, just like the guys I read for that were up until 2 a.m. wrenching on FD cars. They're busting their ass for drifting. And I want to do nothing but the same.
Absolutely. No, like I said, I'm stoked, but we are running low on time. So can you give people a quick rundown of what you're doing this season? We still doing grid life? Like, what's going on? So I want to know where I can find Gregg this year.
Well, sick. I'll be doing the grid lives as well. I actually will be hosting grid life as well, a small section of it for the drift. What that is night shift, and I'm basically just getting on a PA system. And I'm kind of moving things around in the run of show. Okay. So I'm going to say, hey, this driver's been ripping today. This driver's been ripping today. Get your cars and come to me. You're now in a competition. I want to see you both go at each other. And they're just going to be like, or I'm going to be like, this guy's been throwing back. Let's see it. And there's no trophies. There's none of that. Yeah. I'm just trying to like give that kind of skater vibe where you be at like the bowl and you just be edging your buddies like, dive it and show them how to do it. You can't land that trick. You show them how to do it, and I want to do that type of thing. So like one of our running shows is Top Garage is going to do the top 4, but they're all going to switch cars. So Chris Ward's going to be in someone else's car. Emmett's going to be in someone else's car. Vincent, someone, and Sloan and someone. We're going to do a top 4, but they're all in someone else's car. And I thought that'd be fun. Is there a trophy for it? Absolutely not, but it'll be really fun to watch.
Dude, that's such a good idea because let's be honest. So you got to remember, drifters like to have fun. They like to party, drive, and stuff. But like, you always would love to go drive against your homie just to see how you and your homie, or you in a competitive car to yours, stacks up, but it's so hard to like manufacture that in an actual competition. Like it's almost impossible to go against your buddy in a competition of like 32 or whatever, because there's like 1 in 32 chance that's going to happen. But with this, you can kind of set it up to where you're like, you know what, these two guys would be sick to drive together, and then it's like literally the fantasy battle stuff, and it's perfect, dude. I love it.
I mean, we heard JTP is going to be there. He might as well be the final boss. I feel like that's going to be it. Whoever's looking hot, JT, you just sit here on your new tires and you just wait till I tell you, and then we're just going to get somebody to go out there and hopefully whoop that man's ass because he needs to laugh. It might be me. It might be me. I might just put the mic down, get my little SR20, drag him around the track. But like, he's so good. But like, it's a kart track at CMP. We'll start there. Then we move over to Road Atlanta, my home track, and Grid Life is going to be overlapping with Formula Drift as well in a morning segment, so I'll be able to host that as well. That's going to be fun to watch. And I just signed up for LS Fest as well, so I'll be announcing LS Fest.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I'm going to skip Vegas. Yeah, Officer Dan's going to do Vegas for us. It's just, I think it's like this weekend or next, I don't know. There's so many weekends in a row to where it's in like two weeks is LS Fest West. Right. I just couldn't make it fit, but I'll do the East in Texas, and I think Ford Fest as well. And East 10 Drift, be judging for East 10 Drift. Which I love doing. I love doing that because I actually work with the program drivers and kind of prep them a little bit on what's to come. Those are a few things I'll be doing. And then final bout, if I can make it, that's all I really want to do.
Awesome.
Because again, I love competitive drifting, but I like looking better. Like I like looking better. I think I think drifting gives us such a blank canvas to like make our cars look whatever we want to. We might as well like put all of our personalities into them.
Absolutely, dude. And are you going to be driving at all? Like, I mean, what's like? Obviously, you can go drive a Grid Life or two, but like,
well,
how
I start my new job on Monday, and I'm gonna have to ask them how many days I can get off. But no, I plan on driving. I would like to drive.
Dude, like, trust me, I get it. I get it.
6 and 10 events a year. Yeah, you too. You're the same. You're my media guy for this year. You don't even know it yet. Wherever you're driving is where I'm driving. No, I think I try to do like 6 or 10 a year because tires are $150, $160 a pop.
Yeah.
And like fuel now to fill up the truck's $260. And that's like no mechanical wear and tear at all, even counting into that. So each one of these weekends, I'm kind of spending my family's vacation money on it. So I got to be careful, because again, my girl deserves a trip to Japan. Me and her just, and every time I do one of these trip events, it kind of chips away at it a little bit.
All right. Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. I guess any final thoughts? It's almost time, but obviously, where can people find you at? Obviously, we made the big announcement, so just how are you feeling going into the year? How are you feeling? Let me ask you that question. How are you feeling right now?
I am stressed out of my mind. I am so stressed. I am crazy nervous, anxious. It's the biggest thing I've ever done in front of a camera, hands down. And I do care what people think about me and my performance. So even though I'm not supposed to read the comments, it's going to be in the back of my mind the whole time of like, I know not everybody's going to love me or everybody's going to like my personality or what I'm trying to do. So I need to kind of convert over and just be like, Greg, slow down, enunciate, and try and do your best and put on a show, for the community. And I'm going to try. And I think I'm keep telling myself I'm going to do good. But I am crazy, crazy nervous. And then even driving this year, I'm doing big events driving, like the final bouts, the Road Atlanta, things like that. I'm not a top tier driver. I joke, all the time I put it on someone's door and stuff, but like I have a lot to learn as a driver still. And so my car makes 300 horsepower and it doesn't do what some of these other guys do. And I'm trying to. So my whole year has been kind of shaking off nerves, I guess is kind of what it is. That's how I feel. It's like getting better at just shake it off, like get through it, and usually when I come out the other end, I feel much better. But I start 2 new jobs next week. I start Formula Drift and Link. I haven't had a different job in 12 years. 12 years I've had the same job, and now I'm starting 2 in 1 week. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. Dude, it's awesome, man. I'm excited.
I dyed this a little bit. It was so gray. It was so gray. That's how stressed out I was. I had to dye my beard.
Oh my gosh, dude, no way. Dude, yeah, and I'm excited. Like I said, I think people are gonna love it. I think people are gonna seek it out. I hope FD, and I'm sure they will clip out clips and post it all over the socials. Because I think you're just going to be an absolute clip farm, is my opinion.
Well, that would be sick. That would be sick if I do. I just want to try and give like the content that I feel like we were missing, and not that anybody was doing anything wrong. I think Jared is an icon in our sport. I think he's one of the most talented people that we've ever had in drifting as an MC, if not the most talented MC we've ever had in drifting. People don't understand how hard it is to go hot for hours or days on end. I think everybody who's kind of done their job at FD has done it proper. I think the one thing that I could do is just change a little bit of the image of conversations of where we approach these things.
Absolutely.
And
man.
I don't think that's a fault on anybody. I think it's just an opportunity for me.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else? Where can they find you at? What I want to see some updates this year. Okay. I better see a cool
deal.
Socials going on. Okay.
Absolutely. You can catch social media. I'm mostly on Instagram, Gregg.Bucell. It's just my name, Gregg Bucell. It's a lot of dog pictures, friends pictures, and some car stuff. But that's me. It's just me. I'm not trying to clickbait or anything like that. It's just me being me. And yeah, man, I want to do this again with you because I feel like we have so much more to talk about, especially after. Let's do this again after round 1 because I feel like
Tuesday after
go back over our top 3s. Let's go back over our top 3s and see how far off we were because I keep seeing Dylan Hughes on your background and I'm like, oh, the dozer, he's going to do good too. So let's do this again after Long Beach.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Go do what you got to do.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Seriously, again, drifting community. I'm talking to you. Thank you for everything for the past 13 years and the forever future. I appreciate all you guys.
Awesome. See you, buddy.
All right.
Go ahead.
Talk to you soon.
All right, guys, that was fun. I'm excited. He had a hard out at 9:00, so I just huge appreciation for coming to hang out. I know he wanted to talk about a couple things that were going out and kind of get that off his chest. And dude, he's got some sick announcements. So I was like, dude, I will gladly do whatever I can to get you on here. So I'm glad that we're doing a little extra show this week. But holy cow, okay, I apologize, by the way. I didn't get a chance to ask any questions because, like I said, we only had an hour, and I wanted to get through a lot of stuff with him. So I will go back, and we'll check out some of the questions. I also want to re-hit up the that description I had pulled up earlier, or the comment from Ryan I wanted to pull up earlier, because I think there's some key stuff that I didn't quite hit on it, but, like, we were running low on time, and I just had to keep it moving. So we will go through this as well. I saw all kinds of questions from you guys, and I'm going to try and get what we can done. Huge thank you guys for checking out. Make sure to go, give him some love, dude. He's had a busy, let's say behind the scenes last couple of months. So I'm so excited. He's kind of coming out of the other end of that and landing on his feet. So I am so stoked for him. Such a good guy. But okay. I want to reiterate, so let me bring this up. Collab screen. Nope, this one. I want to bring up this screen again. All right. So, and I want to reiterate for the people that weren't here earlier. This is the important information that you guys might have not seen. If you guys are diehards in here, you might know about some of this stuff. But this was a comment that Ryan Sage has left on one of the Facebook. It was obviously one of the complaints on Facebook, and he responded in this manner, and I thought it was a really good response as opposed to maybe some of the other stuff I've been seeing where it's a little bit more snarky, and I'm just trying to offer a little advice, Ryan. It's not a good look, personally. I don't think being snarky and with other people about just because they want it on YouTube, like, it's just, you're not going to change their mind. That's just what they want. Like, you just leave them to it. I I don't think it's worth responding to people like that, or people with which obviously, because you can't fix it. It is what it is. They want on YouTube, cool. Just leave it. That. Just my 2 cents, Ryan. Love you, buddy, but like, you can't win every battle. You just can't. People aren't going to see your side all the time. With that being said, though, he did come out with some information that I think is very important for people to know about, especially the ones that are upset about the move over to Racer, because I think it tells us a lot. And he says, if the series cannot show the value of their media rights, we're stuck. What we've done is essentially unprecedented. We did, which is, and he'll get to why, we did a media rights deal that does not involve mandatory pay to view, which is true, very, very rare. But this is, okay, cool. This is cool. It's very rare that something like this happens. So there is something good to say about that. But you're still making it more inconvenient for people to watch at supposedly no benefit to them. As of yet, we'll get to the benefit. But when you posted it, there was no benefit to anybody, and people were just mad. So we get into some of that. We added massive guaranteed distribution. Massive's a relative term. Racer Network, Mav TV, whatever. Maybe you get a new audience that's on cable that maybe doesn't know what drifting is. Greg brought it up earlier in the show. Could be true. I think overall you're going to see less viewership because of the ease of access on YouTube, and I feel like that's more important than necessarily this. But okay, if that's something you want to do, that's fine. Still doesn't add any value to the people that were on YouTube, so we're going to continue on here. He says a driver revenue program. This is before any of this information. I don't even know if this is public. Like, this is I haven't heard this publicly anywhere before I saw this comment. This is huge, and if you are in the know, you guys know how hard some of these drivers struggle to make it into the series financially. This is massive, and if this is a way to get more drivers into the series and more, I guess just get them more comfortable, get more, like I said, more drivers, because we lost drivers this year due to finances. If we can prevent that from happening in the future because of this driver revenue program, this is huge. I think this alone is worth going to a racer program like that, because that opens a lot of opportunities for drivers. Personally, I think that's extremely cool. Next, he says paid for telemetry, and they have 2 new production trucks. There's 2 points there. Paid for telemetry, basically the Wally system. They were working with the Wally system. The reason they are able to work with Wally this year and add stuff to the live stream like live telemetry is because of this deal with Racer, which I think is very important to tell people, which they didn't. So this is a really cool point, that they are now adding something to the viewer, to the customer. Okay, we're going to make the live streams better because we're going to have live telemetry. Okay, that's really cool. You didn't say that when you went over to Racer, but because you are going over to Racer, you now have telemetry, which is really, really cool. Okay. Next, you have 2 new production trucks, all for the cost to the consumer of what? You download another app available. Okay, this is where it gets a little snarky. Okay, I get it. But basically, the other production that I saw, I think you commented somewhere else, or someone else said it was slow-mo. We're gonna have slow-mo now in the live stream now, which I know was a big complaint of FD not having versus Red Bull, because Red Bull had that super sick slow-mo that they do. Now FD supposedly is now able to do slow-mo with the new production trucks and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's very, very cool. Again, should have told the people when you announced with Racer that this was all a part of the package, okay? Because now you're giving people some value to download the app to do what they need to do to go watch the stream, okay? Very important, but this is cool, okay? I'm trying to give FD props where I can, but I'm also trying to help them. They need to take this post, apart from the snarkiness, and post it on their socials. Because we are with Racer, we do A, B, and C. Not that hard, but it needs to be public. Cool. Next, and this is more personally, I think is really cool. We go down the bottom here. And And this was accomplished by leaving the drivers' rights to media to events unchanged, which is a major driver of their funding and never happens. Very true, very cool, underrated feature that they were able to do. Let's say, for example, F1. I wanted to go do media at F1 for a driver. I can't film 1 second of F1 of those cars on the racetrack because any footage of them on the racetrack is owned by F1. That sucks. That sucks for the drivers. That sucks for me, for work. The fact that none of this is changing, I can go film for the drivers I need to, the companies I need to go film for, and film runs, film whatever I need to. That is cool. That is really cool. I am very thankful that that is still intact, especially for the drivers. Like he says, that's their main revenue driver, and is really cool to see. Again, it wasn't spelled out afterwards. I mean, I think this point was kind of said through FD's circles, but the other points, which I think are more important for the customer, were not. And I don't know what FD needs to say or do, but they need to post this stuff because this is really important and really cool. Now, knowing this information, you guys can now make your decision on whether or not you think it was still worth it to go over to Racer. That's your opinion. It's up to you guys to decide that. For me, I will be at the event, so it doesn't really affect me. And if anything, it kind of helps me because I have now other ways to support you guys. And you guys are going to come to our channel to check out clips, videos, probably a lot more than you used to. So I benefit from this change. I will be honest. I do benefit from this change. But it is what it is, you know. You can't go back now. They're going to do it. So now the challenge is how do we figure out how do we do apps on TVs that work and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot still to figure out. I know a lot of people's pain points is like, oh, this is a week before the event. Yes, it's not ideal. But it is what it is, you know. It's not like we can change it now. Now it's like, okay, what can we do next, right? Oh, man, you guys have been awesome in the comments. I am going to try. If you asked a question earlier, I hope you're still in here. Can you re-ask it again just because I don't want to have to go and look through and scroll through a lot of stuff in here and whatnot. I know you guys had some questions. Connor asks, so do you think Top 16 will have ads without paid version? And my worry is that they'll do a big middle of the screen and drift, run, and run a small picture in the corner. What are the odds? Okay, so Connor, what I think is going to happen, and this is just commercials in general, you got to keep in mind, FD ran commercials in YouTube, so I think we're still going to have that same format because it's going to be, you got to remember, it's cable TV. You got to stop thinking about app and watching on an app. You got to remember it's cable TV. So regular cable TV, you go for a certain amount of time frame, and then you have ads, like for like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. So that's when they stop the show or whatever, and then throw the ads in. So it's going to be just like cable TV. I assume even with the free version, even if you pay for it, you're still going to have like commercial breaks. They just might not show you the commercials with that, if that makes sense. Because no matter what, the event has to physically stop to show commercials for cable. So that is something where I don't think it changed whether you pay for it or not. You're still going to have a time break in between runs where they're going to show commercials and have scheduled commercial breaks, just like they have always done. So I don't think paying for it or being it free is going to change that personally. They might have, like you said, ads in like lower thirds or something. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't think anyone can right now. So do you what was another question? Hopefully FD's production team will tell Racer production team when to do that. Yeah, like they'll all coordinate. Like you're not going to be halfway through a run and all of a sudden it cuts off and does a commercial. It's not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Let's see. Ryan Sage. Let's see. I'm gonna go back down. Ads mid runs would shrink the size. I don't think they would do that. Driver revenue will be top 16 drivers from what I heard. So you'll give the 16 most marketable drivers more money. Those drivers have an easier time to get sponsors, so it needs to be bottom 16. So Connor, I disagree, because you need to support the people that are doing well, the people that you don't want to incentivize doing bad ever. You don't want to ever give people money because they lost. You want to give people to the people that win, do well, push people to want to earn the money. That's how every competition works. But the fact that they are giving people money is a good thing. Even if it's just the top 16, that is a good thing, and I'm excited for that. Okay, and it helps the sport regardless, because you're not gonna have the same 16 every week. You'll have people that make a couple top 16s that usually don't make it in there, and that's okay. And they get a portion of the chunk when they make it into 16. Like, that's cool. You want to incentivize people to be doing better. I like that they're doing the top 16 a payout of some sort. That's cool. It's only going to help guys. Did you see the story from Drift Chat? They released a screenshot on how the telemetry will work on stream. I have not. I did not see that. I will see if I can look up. You said Drift Chat. You said it's a story? Oh. You said... Oh, it's a story. Yeah, it's probably... I can't, pull up a story. That sucks. If there's a picture that you know of, Sarot, can you send it to me on Instagram? It's not Daily Driver Media. And maybe if anyone knows of that, I can pull up a picture. I can't really pull up a story. I don't like looking at this trade-off. Losing accessibility for a better experience isn't acceptable to me. I want less changes, but keep that what works, what we like, and what's good. Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion, bud. There's whether for right or for wrong, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but there's a perception between different automotive organizations of you are now more valuable if you're on a cable network. I don't think that's necessarily correct in real life, actual terms, but that's just how it is. That's just how I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. So I feel like that's part of it, but also you got to remember FD's getting money to do all of these extra things. And if you don't think it's worth it, then you don't think it's worth it. But it is what it is. I think FD's gonna do what they're gonna do to try and improve the show how they can, and this is how they're gonna do it. So, ever heard of the rumor that the app wasn't on TVs? And I can confirm that it is on my Roku TV. That's interesting. So I have an Amazon TV, and I don't have. There's no app on my Apple TV that I can at least find. So a little bummed about that. I mean, I know the wife was trying to watch it. I mean, you can always just watch on the computer, type in the website. So I hope something gets worked out, because as of right now, the only way for us to watch it on the TV at our house is by buying YouTube TV that I can think of. Or at least that was the only thing that popped up. Oh, Andy Luck's in here. Revenue for top 16. Why the hell would there be an ad during a run? Well, Andy, there's a bit of doom and gloom with doomers out there that are always going to be, worst case scenario. They're going to, as the run's going on, you're going to see an ad pop up in the corner. Hey, do you want to buy this? And yeah, because we live in the 21st century and we've seen it happen. Have you ever seen a mobile game? There's a reason they're free to play. There's always the free to do anything is always met with a caveat. So people always think worst case scenario when you say free to access. It's never actually free, and you got to remember that's what people think of when you say free to watch. They think worst case scenario, the worst free to play mobile game that you can possibly think of. That's straight where their minds go. And so I can see where people's frustrations automatically go to, and I get it. But hopefully it just runs smooth like it always has, and that's kind of the goal that I would think. But yeah, we're not. like I said, they're not going to be running ads during runs. It's going to be like, you know, at the end of 16, end of top 8, top 4, like they've always done in the past. So I don't think anything's changing that way. But yeah, no, good to see Andy in here as well. Good to see you. I'll see you Tuesday, I think, probably. I assume I'll see you Tuesday. We'll be busy, but hopefully I'll see you Tuesday, bud. And if you if you got any other things to throw in the chat, I will gladly, share them. But like I said, I wanted to get Ryan Sage's message out here because I think it's super important to tell people that, hey, you're not being inconvenienced for nothing. There are things that are happening because of this deal, which is cool. And like I said, you can decide whether or not it's worth it for you. Typically FD people tells you're wrong, but won't explain. Good talk. Yeah. See, Andy's awesome, dude. Andy's the best. Also, I listen while I'm on my work truck. I can barely hear you with the radio at full volume. I'll apologize, buddy. I don't like to peak the mic, so I do apologize. I'll make myself a teeny bit louder. Do you have an Xbox or PlayStation? I have both. I've heard there's no Xbox app. I assume there's no PlayStation app. Just run it on oh, you make a good point. Yeah, you could run a browser on a console. I mean, again, that's like, I'm not here, okay? So I won't be home. The wife doesn't know crap about Xbox, PlayStation, she doesn't do that stuff. So she wouldn't be able to do that either. But yeah, no, I think, you could theoretically use a browser and go on the Racer website or whatever. So there's, like I said, it's not perfect, but at least we now know that there is some positives for the customer because of this. And I think, like I said, if I can broadcast that message, that's what I want to try to do. And then, like I said, I'm so stoked to see Gregg out there. I think he's gonna have some of the coolest. I think it's some of the coolest stuff out there that you're gonna want to see is with him. Which other mainstream sport is broadcasted for free? Phil, you make a really good point. There isn't one, and like this is FD's way to kind of and here's the unfortunate or fortunate reality of the way of looking at this. Eventually, FD will be pay-per-view. Whether it's on a cable channel, eventually. It's going to happen. FD is going to get big enough, and they're going to join the ranks of the Monster Jams, the not necessarily like they're not obviously as big as like an F1, but like, you know what I mean? Like, they're all going to be in those top-tier racing series, NASCAR, where you have to have a streaming service or something to go watch them. That's just eventually where it's going to go. It's just the natural progression of a motorsport that's growing. It'll eventually be that big. I don't know when that is. I don't know if that's 2 years from now. I don't know if that's 5 years from now. I don't know if it's 10 years from now. But this is their first kind of stepping stone into like becoming into that mainstream as an organization in their eyes. I don't know if I necessarily agree that that's the correct strategy, but that is what they're trying to do. So I'm just trying to lay that out for you guys to kind of explain some of it. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't like to turn my mic up, like I said earlier, for peaking purposes. I'll turn you up a little bit, but I don't want to. I try to not. Yeah, see, now it's peaking because I turned it up. I'm not very bad at like not fluctuating and messing up the mic. Couldn't find the Samsung app again. I'm an Apple slave, so I don't know anything else other than that, so I can't help you there. Connor says I pay for 0 ads on YouTube, so do I, but Connor, you know how you pay for 0 ads on YouTube. You still get the ads on FD's live stream just because that's how it is, like that's how they make their money. Apologies, just shut the kid. Hopefully if it's a little bit better. Wasn't able to DM you the pic. Why can't you DM me the pic, dude? That's not cool. Why can't you? You should be in requests, right? You should be able to DM me. That's lame. Also, I didn't expect to join a stream and see my name just up there. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I didn't really ask your permission. I just thought his response to you, Drift Etiquette, was like a perfect caption of their perspective. That was not spoken at all about publicly, and I think is something that people need to see. I think we're all asking for the same quality of stream as Driftmasters, and we are getting it, so I'm excited. See, Sirot, he's one of the guys that seems converted. You know, he seems okay. I see now that we're supposed to be getting a bunch of cool stuff now because of the deal. Worth it, you know. They're trying to go corporate. Gonna be some growing pains. But in the end of the day, it only hurts the viewers, really. Amjask. Okay, so think about it this way, though. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. And like you said, in the short term. But here's a long term, right? Long term. Think about it this way, guys. If FD gets that big deal, you know, where they're on a cable network, you got to pay for the cable network. But what if we get, instead of 32 drivers, we get 60? And 30 of those drivers are making money. Like, that would be pretty cool. I think that would be sick for the drifting industry. I think that'd be cool because not only are we're getting better drivers, we're getting more drivers. Like, because the number one factor why we don't have more drivers in FD right now is money. There's just not enough people that can afford to run 8 rounds of FD and spend that kind of cash. So, if we are able to get them money from TV deals or whatever, it's only going to help the sport, and I think, in my opinion, is going to help, like, the viewing experience, okay? So, this is where, long-term, it can help the customer get a better show, in my opinion. Now, again, I don't know how long-term that is. I don't know what money they're giving out to drivers, but it is a start. And like you said, they're going to be growing pains. And as Greg said, this gets you in front of eyes that are outside of the automotive world. Maybe sponsorships, money come in, and we can do some really cool stuff in the future. So that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, this just tanks FD's viewership and hurts the series for the next 5 years. But, I mean, who knows which side it's going to go. Or anywhere in between, you know? There's a channel on free Samsung TV, but they said there was like an app like YouTube, Netflix, etc. I was browsing Drivers Plus app, and I found that Moto America has their version of Drive to Survive on there. Interesting. That series has roughly the same number of subscribers as YouTube and Formula Drift. Interesting. Okay, I got you, Drift Etiquette. Yeah, it was a good response. That, like, I mean, he gets a little sassy in there. And again, I will say this again, Ryan. You don't need to get sassy with people, especially people that aren't going to change their mind. It's just not worth it. I don't think it's a very professional look when I see Formula Drifts commenting on every comment on the recent YouTube video, and you're getting snarky comments from the FD YouTube page. I don't think it's a good look. I think it's a bit silly and unprofessional, and it's not going to help anyone. What's going to help people is posting stuff like this, making this stuff public, and telling people what they get out of this new deal. Because as of right now, there is nothing that people are told on your page that they get any of this cool stuff. All right. I mean, obviously, you told them you're working with Wally to do cool telemetry stuff, but you didn't tell them that it's because of this racer deal. Okay, so you need to connect the dots here and help them out. Yes, Road dude was very sassy on the podcast comments. Yeah, he was, dude, and I don't think it helps anybody. Honestly, I don't think it helps him. I don't think it helps the people that commented. It just pushes people away, and I don't think it's not productive at all. My first question is, what happens when someone oils down the track? The whole less ads things goes out the window then. Well, I don't know if there will be less ads in general. I don't think that's... you got to remember it's not really how FD's ever really worked. Like, you're going to have your set time periods for ads, which is after 16, top 8, top 4 finals. Those will be your probably normal ad breaks. Yeah, and if oil down happens, what are you going to do? I mean, hopefully they'll have programming to kind of post, like, cool behind-the-scenes stuff or whatever, like they've done Kevin's Corner and all that kind of stuff. But, like, yeah, I mean, they're just going to be placing more ads and stuff and adding to their, what's the word? Adding to their value to sponsors to get more money for next year. So that's one of the things they'll do. But that's just motorsports, man. Live motorsports, you can't control some of this stuff, you know? It's just what it is. It is what it is. Am just asked 5 years. No, I'm just saying as a hypothetical. Like, I don't know how long it would take to get to that level of a deal, but maybe 5-10 years. I have no idea. I don't know how long this deal is. It might just be a 1 year, see how it goes deal, and then they're back on YouTube next year. I don't know. All right. Only thing that turned me to the side of, okay, let's see what happens, is Gregg and his role. I love Gregg, and he's one of the best dudes out there in this sport. And I 100% agree, dude. I will say what I am mad about, I am a little upset about the fact that Gregg's segment is going to be on Racer only. Now, I get it. Racer just paid for probably the best programming of the weekend with that exclusive with Gregg. I think it's going to be sweet. I'm just bummed it's not going to be everywhere. But I hope FD is able to clip it out and still post some of the highlights from it, because I'm excited for it, dude. And honestly, if you need value to download the app, I think that's value as well. You're going to get an exclusive program with one of the coolest guys in the industry, talking smack with all the drivers. That's probably worth it to honestly download the app and check it out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And honestly, if you're looking for value in the Racer app, there's some pretty good value right there. I want to be very clear. I have massive respect for Ryan, and we've had many good conversations. I still disagree with how this move is being done and taking the main event off YouTube. And that's fine. Like, people are going to disagree with that, you know? And I'm sure we don't know all of the good we don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes and whatnot. But, you know, this is what they thought was the best move to grow the sport. So it'll be curious. I am very curious to see how this works out. Regardless, it will be very, very interesting to see how this pans out by the end of the year and what happens next. Do they go back to YouTube, or do they now move on to a full-on cable channel, or is it going to be more of the same? So I am very curious to see where this goes, because it could go in so many different ways. What happens when? Okay. How big was the check from Racer Network? Must have been substantial if they're buying all this stuff, you know, paying for the Wally system, telemetry, 2 new production trucks, driver revenue program. They must have gotten some good cash, which good for them, you know. You know, it's money's hard to come by right now. I'll be honest, dude. Trying to get sponsorships and stuff for I feel bad, dude. It's rough out there. Even gigs for me, dude. It's like, yeah, getting work out here is a little rough right now. Everything's expensive, dude. Having a 3-man team is probably really dumb of me right now to go to FD and bring a 3-man team, because it is so expensive to do anything right now. But you know what? We're going to do it for you guys. I love all of you guys, and I don't want to go back down to a 2-man team because it just kind of was too thin for what we do. So we got another 3-man team this year with some new people. Well, one of them is new, but I'm going to announce that next week. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I mean, ideally, should have thrown a bunch of money into the track crew at the events. It's hilarious, the difference between Drift Masters and FD cleanup process. So you got to remember, that's the track's responsibility. That's not really FD's responsibility. I feel like they just rent the facility, from what I understand. So I don't think throwing more money at a track they don't own makes a whole lot of sense, if that makes sense, Amjask. And I understand your run a show issue. I think they're going to do what they can to work on that, but I don't know if money on FD's side would help that specific issue, if that makes sense. For what happens when there's 17 yellow frags during NASCAR? Yeah, they do commercials and stuff. I really wish it was ported into the FD website for FD. It will be for what's it called? Atlanta. It will be on FD's website as well. Hopefully, I think it'll be on their FD app as well. So that is another thing. If you already have an FD app, then you don't have to download anything once Atlanta starts. They gotta fill in the dead space somehow. Rather watch the little ad for Kenda or whoever instead of watching some old guy picking up cars parts and sweeping the track. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I make one of the commercials. You guys watch them a zillion times, and by like New Jersey last year, I wanted to like do terrible things to myself every time I heard that commercial because I was so sick of it. I'm like, because I watched the commercial about 1,000 times before it gets posted up there, and then I hear it every round, and I'm just like, I can't take it, dude. So that's just me though. Again, it's new people everywhere I go, so I understand playing the commercials and stuff like that. It's just because I'm there every round. It's just like, oh my gosh, those voices. I see them in my sleep. They gotta fill the dead space somehow. Rather watch a little. Sorry, I already read that. I'm a hardcore fan, so I'm finna watch anyways. But you made me feel better about this. I'm glad, Dustin. Like that was kind of my goal, right? My goal, because I was. If you guys watched my I guess monologue on Tuesday, dude, I was pretty scathing. I was very mean, and I was quite upset because I didn't understand why they didn't give us any of these reasons that I have now on the stream. So now that we have this, hopefully this gives you guys some reasons to not be as pissed off. Do you think true fans who would actually go to the events and say buy merch won't download the app? No, I think they will. Let's see. I go to Atlanta to buy merch and I download the app. Hopefully we can actually see in-car footage during the stream. Okay, so I will want to iterate. Greg kind of put that out there. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't think in-car footage is a thing. Still. That's very expensive to do. I do not, from what I've heard, I don't think there is in-car live footage still. Which I was also told was like 20 grand a weekend. Which I think is insane. Also, I also feel like there's much cheaper ways to do things than how FD is doing it when it comes to live streaming. I think you could do a lot of things way cheaper, in my opinion, and have pretty much damn near the same results when it comes to the live streaming side. Not saying FD go use an iPhone like I do, but like using there are cameras out there that do better settings than what they record at, way better, that are much cheaper, user friendly. And it's hard for me to explain without nerding out and stuff, but yes, I feel like we could have done slow-mo long time ago for real cheap at FD on the live stream. But again, that is a topic for a different day. Have they said anything about media rights? It's going to be rough if they start claiming drivers' videos and using clips of their runs. Read the bottom like couple sentences here, and it will tell you your answer. And this is low-key one of my favorite parts of this deal. leaving the driver's rights to the media at the events unchanged. So the drivers still have media rights, which is massive, and it does not happen very often when you have a deal like this. So I think that's very, very cool. And low-key, one of my favorite parts of this. So that's awesome. That's a big deal. But again, it doesn't really benefit you guys. But it benefits the drivers and myself a lot. Wonder if they be a camera inside the car. Oh, yeah, sorry. I said I don't think there is. We can barely hear the ads in the stands at Atlanta. Not gonna lie. Eh, it's fine. The ads started making me eat Dylan Hughes. Oh, man. I do wish they had more diverse ad commercial lineup instead of the 5 they play over and over again. Honestly, that's my fault. I should be throwing in new ads every once in a while for Link, but dude, it takes a long time to make them, and like as soon as the season starts, I'm freaking busy. But I could have. I will say that's kind of on me, because FD says like we can change that commercial whenever we like to. I just have 10,000 other things that I'm doing during the year, so like I only got so much time. But I could theoretically make another commercial, change it up for a round, or change it up for another round, you know. So I think there was one year I did give them 2 commercials, and they would play either one throughout the year. So that is actually a thing that if companies wanted to change their commercial, they can. Just so you know that. So it's not necessarily FD's fault. What's their drone budget? I would assume the same as last year. I've always thought they've done really good on drone content. I think FD's drone content is top notch, and I don't think there's a reason to change it. Honestly, Driftmaster Slow-Mo is good. Well, Dustin, from what I've heard, we are getting slow-mo this year. And when we don't get slow-mo during the live stream, I'm going to look like an idiot. But from what I've seen or heard, we are getting slow-mo. I'm hopeful. So I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. Like you said, I love the slow-mo. Yo, thank you guys for hanging out, by the way. I know this wasn't... I don't usually do Thursday nights doing the behind the camera. I'm usually driving on the sim. And unfortunately, I just can't do that tonight. I have so much to do before Monday. And it's not even just, like, getting ready for Long Beach. Like, I have to cut up... I have 2 down trees in my yard that I got to cut up. I have to fix a pipe that is under like a foot of ground. I have to what was the other thing? There was another yard work thing that's going to be dumb and annoying that I have to do before I leave, because that's my job, right? You know, I got to make sure the house is halfway in decent order before I leave. But and then I got to figure out all the media side, which, you know, luckily I have it figured out pretty good, but I have to find everything. It feels like I did buy some of Dylan's soap. It works pretty well. Oh, man. I remember that commercial. That's funny, dude. That's actually pretty hilarious. I'm wondering how pissed FD sponsors are with pulling Top 16 off YouTube. You make a good point there, FX Fusion. You make a really, really good point. And I am curious what they are going to say to sponsors, especially in the off-season, about, hey, we did kind of make this change, because from what I understand, I don't think a lot of them knew about it. At least I don't think we did, you know. But again, from also a sponsor standpoint, we understand where this is going, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But it definitely does, I think, limit what sponsors' viewership could get this year. But yeah. That'll be an interesting conversation. I get more FD info from you than FD. That statement hurts how true that statement hurts how true it is, which sucks, because I have nothing special. I don't have any inside info. Well, I have some inside info. I lied, but like I don't say anything that's not public. Like I make sure I don't do that. It's just I'm able to see it and find it and like post it. Like it's not like it's rocket science, dude. It's just like simple marketing 101. You take away something from a customer, you got to give them something else. And you didn't do that. And you got the appropriate response, I think, for it. Tell them what you are giving them, please. I don't know how many times I got to say this. But, yeah. LZ was saying Drift HQ signed a deal, and the announcement was the first they've heard of it. They signed it based on YouTube numbers. My point exactly. So, I am sure. Don't get me wrong. I am sure FD is having these conversations right now with their sponsors. I am 100% sure. So we'll see how that goes. But I can't say anything on that, so I don't know. It is what it is, right? You know. I think Link, we're already locked in for like 2 years, so like we can't change anything. Like we're already locked in. Like it is what it is. Sell the house. You can always sleep in a drift car, but you can't drift a house. You know, it is a very valid point, but then I'd also get disowned by my family, and that would kind of suck. I like the little guy that runs around our house now. He's pretty cool. But yeah. Can we hear you speak on LZ's comments? I brought it up last Tuesday. So let me see if I can find it on the computer. I know it's somewhere. Here it is. Yep. Here is Adam LZ's statement. Is this the one you're talking about, Dustin, by the way? The comment on Facebook? I don't know if he's made any other statements outside of this. But I can bring it up. But you have to remember, this was posted before the other parts were understood. Before we knew about the improvements to the live stream. Before we knew about the driver incentive program. Before we knew a lot about this other stuff that is supposed to be improved with FD because of this series. But yeah, so he basically was saying Photo Drift being streamed on YouTube was a huge for the sport, being exposed to new eyes and potentially the future of the sport. My take is that this may not largely turn people away, but it will definitely slow down new eyes entering the sport. Driftmasters made it work with RBTV, but that's also with Red Bull's insane budget and on the platform that has a lot of other things to offer, I think is what he meant to say. I like to consider myself a pretty big drift guy. I've never turned into the RBTV apart from when I was competing. I just watched the highlights on socials. I just highlight the socials instead. So, you got to remember Adam's an extremely, extremely busy guy. Like, he doesn't even watch Red Bull TV for Driftmasters. So, it's like, for him, here's the problem with what Adam said, right? He only watches what he's a part of. Like, if he wasn't driving FD, he probably doesn't watch it even if it's on YouTube, you know? So, like, what he's saying is it's going to possibly slow down new eyes to the sport, which I agree with. I think there is a possibility that this is going to hurt FD. But it is a path that they think they have to take to grow. And I am curious to see if it works out. But I completely understand where Adam's coming from, and I largely agree with it. And he's probably, like I said, he's probably not excited about the fact that FD announced this after they made a deal with Drift HQ, for example. That's another thing. The other one, I saw him asking if it was brought up to one of the calls since he missed some, and then Ryan was going on rants responding to him. Yes, I know. Ryan, chill, please. It's not a good look. But, yeah, I'm sure there was a conversation. Dude's a busy guy. Probably can't make all of them. Understandable. Dude's kind of a big deal. Like, it is what it is. You know, you can't... What are you going to do, right? It's like... it is what it is. Like, I don't think... I mean, obviously, he doesn't care about the driver payout program. He doesn't need the money. He cares about viewers, right? And growing his channel. So, like, that's not an argument for him. But for other drivers that are barely skinning by, that top 16 payout program is pretty sick. Okay, so you got to remember, different drivers are going to have different priorities here. So it is what it is. I think, like I said, I think this other statement by FD needs to be echoed everywhere that they have social channels. And they need to stop. I will say they need to stop being disingenuous about, oh, it's the biggest automotive platform to watch automotive content. That is incorrect. Whatever statement they made on it, it was like biggest automotive content, whatever it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. They made this huge grand statement that it's this big old platform. It's smaller than Google, bud. It is smaller than Google. It will always be smaller than YouTube. There will always be less people on cable in that channel. YouTube kicks cable's ass every day of the week, and it's not even close. So stop being, I will say to FD, stop being disingenuous about it. It is not a bigger platform. Stop saying it's a bigger platform. With that said, you have a bunch of other valid reasons why it's on that platform. Please say those reasons. Stop saying it's on a bigger platform, because it is not. That is factually incorrect. Even if you say automotive platform, YouTube is still a bigger automotive platform than any other service out there, and it's not even close. Not even close. So just stop. People see right through that kind of statement, and they say, that's not true. You're lying to me, and I don't like people lying to me. And that further pisses off people. Okay? So that's just not true. And people don't like being lied to, and that's a lie in a lot of people's eyes. I'm sure there's some stupid marketing, but if this specific scenario, largest cable marketing program out there, whatever, nobody cares. It's not bigger than YouTube, and stop saying it is. That is one thing that I think, if FD stops saying that and whatnot, I think that will go a long way for people, because they, like I said, people do not like to be lied to. I don't like being lied to. And when they said that, I was like, that's BS. That's not true. Stop saying that. It makes me not trust you, you know? But again, this is all part of the monologue I had on Tuesday, but no, dude, I'm stoked that you guys are hanging out. I don't know, you guys must have nothing to do, because I'm like, yeah, what, how many people are in this chat anyways? I don't even know. Dude, why do I have 40 people hanging out with me? What's up, guys? How you guys doing? You guys having a good night? I love you all. You guys excited to watch some live stream practice on Tuesday? It's gonna be pretty sweet. Gonna be pretty fun. Oh, and by the way, if you are curious, I will say this. If you guys are curious and want to watch raw runs of Top 16 after the event on YouTube, I will be posting them on my YouTube channel. So you will not be in the dark if you do not want to download an app, or if you can't just watch it for some reason. And there will be no commentating. It will just be straight engine noises of a Top 16 that you guys can watch on my YouTube channel very shortly after the event's over. So be sure to look out for that. Just a little teaser of what we're doing. Don't worry. I already know this whole thing benefits me, so I'm gonna take some advantage of it, and we will be sharing that with you guys, and I'm very excited for it. Kurtis, I always posted the Top 16 anyways, but I'm just gonna make sure it gets out pretty quick after the event, and you guys can see what happens. What happens to the live chat? Here's what I'll ask. I'm gonna ask Andy Luck. What do you guys think of this? Since there's no live chat for Top 16, if I go over to Andy Luck and I ask him, and I'd be like, hey, can I go live? I'm not gonna obviously face the camera forward, but if I face the camera back towards me while I'm filming, can we go live and just have a chat, during FD? I'll ask Andy at Long Beach if I can do that. And that way we can still have a live chat, and then you just have to have another screen to go watch the actual live. Because that would be kind of fun, no? Like, I think it would be kind of cool to talk about the runs and stuff, and we can still have an FD chat, talk shit, do all that kind of crazy stuff. During the FD round, you just have to obviously go watch the actual... battles during the live stream on their program. I don't know, would you guys be interested in that? Because... I'll ask Andy if I can do that. Because obviously they're going to be like really strict, I think, about live streaming, that kind of stuff. But if I say, hey, it's just going to be on me, it's going to be a POV of me watching, or whoever's running the live stream at the time, POV, and we can still rock a chat, have some good times, laugh, make jokes. I can see what we can do there. I'll ask Andy if we can do it, and if not, then we can't. I'm not trying to step on toes of a new organization that FD is working with, and make people upset. But there's an opportunity there, maybe. Chasing Perfection, you should be able to do that. Guys stream sporting events all the time on YouTube doing MLB. Yeah, I know, but I'm not trying to piss people off either, FD lets me do a lot of really cool things, and I'd like to keep doing that, I'm not trying to push my luck past where it should be pushed, I think I really do, I appreciate what FD lets me do so much, whether it's live streaming practice or whatever, or, helping with a Long Beach situation and getting some better shooting locations. FD's been really good to me, so I definitely want to make sure whatever I'm doing is cool with them, And they're great people. Let's be honest, FD wants to work and make this program better, so I'm sure they're going to be open to the idea. But I just need to verify first, Probably send Andy a message here in a little bit and just ask. Or I'll do it there. I don't know. What else we got going on here? I'm probably going to end the stream in the next couple minutes here, but if you have any more questions, probably pop those in before I end the stream. No curveball, no switch up, nothing but gas. I like it. They say it's going to be on FD's site, but will they actually have stream it, or will it just be links to download the app? Why can't someone from FD come out and say it? Chasing Perfection. What I assume is it's going to be probably an embedded window from their app, I would assume, on the website. I assume. I don't know that for sure. I would assume that's how they're going to do it. So, it's still, linked to the Racer website. Because you can go on Racer's website and watch it. From what I understand, you don't have to download an app. For example, if you're on a computer and want to watch it, you should be able to just go on the Racer's website and watch it. So I assume it's just going to be emulating whatever that stream is on FD's website. So hopefully it's not a link to go download an app. I think it's just to watch it there. We're going to end up getting raw top 16 runs from outside the venue. Yeah, this might be how it ends up going. We'll start donating food and beverage to whoever's behind the camera and track and hold the umbrella all weekend. Yeah, no, we need it, dude. Yeah, any support you guys want to send this year, by the way, is going to be greatly appreciated, because my expenses have gone up tenfold this year for a variety of factors. It's not just inflation, but there's other things that I was kind of getting help with last year that I'm not getting help with this year. So my expenses are much more this year, and technically my driver workload is less this year as well, because a bunch of my guys that I worked with couldn't run this year. So if you guys want to support the channel, it's always appreciated, but we'll make it work. We always try to. This is definitely not going to be the year to get rich off of, that's for sure. That's for damn sure. But it should be a fun year regardless. And hopefully we get you some good content. That's always the goal. And you guys know, Long Beach is always a challenge with all the fences and stuff. Like, there's other rounds that are way better for our live streams to watch and stuff. But yeah, Long Beach is always going to be the tricky one because of all the fencing. Oh, yes, Johnson, make a good point. I did see Hiroa's new post. He didn't... So, this is why I was confused why Hiro was on the list to begin with. Ah, oh, man, you just brought up a point I want to talk about for the next 30 minutes. Damn it. Damn it, Johnson! Oh, okay, so how can I make this quick? Long story short, if you guys don't know, Manoa is not driving all the rounds because he is driving... what's the rally organization? Why am I going insane right now? What the hell is it called? My brain's broken, dude. It's late. My brain just broke. What is the rally organization called? I know you guys are on like a 10-second delay, so I'm just like waiting for someone to be like, hey, idiot, it's this. My brain's... WRC. Thank you. Thank you. Holy shit. How did I forget WRC? Oh my gosh. But yeah, so he is not driving all the rounds. I don't think he specified in the video which rounds he's not coming to, but he is coming to Long Beach, so glad to have him. I will say, they did bend the rules for him. He is not a champion, and he is able to not drive all the rounds, which is opens the door possibly. Wink, wink, FD. You technically have a wildcard driver now that's not a champion. What's it going to take to get more of these guys in here? Pretty please? Pretty please, can we do wildcard? I want to do wildcards. They're sweet. They're fun. FD should be pro fun. Wildcards are fun. Can we do them, please? I think it would be sick. I think there's some good drivers that can't afford to drive a full season. I want to see wildcards. So this could be a step into wildcards. I hope. Fingers crossed. But yes, like I thought, I was surprised to see him on the list because I knew he wasn't going to be able to drive a whole season. So, yeah. And Fire, you are right. As LZ was also not a champion, and he drove half the season. But I think they sold it as like it's the same car. He just swapped with Vaughn. Vaughn drove 4 rounds of that car, and then LZ drove 4 rounds of that car. So I think it was maybe a little bit different, but again, you're right. We'll see. I will always push for the idea of wildcards because I think it will drastically help the series from a fun factor and a viewing standpoint. I think it'll be way better with wildcards. Actually, I don't think. I know it would be way better with wildcards. And I've always wondered, and the argument is they don't want to hurt the drivers that pay for a full championship. You know, they don't want them getting knocked out by wildcard drivers. And to that I say, beat them. Don't let a wildcard driver beat you, dude. If you're here for a full season, don't let a wildcard driver beat you. And if they do, get over it. You know, you weren't good enough. So, that's what I have to say about that. But maybe. We'll see. I can dream. I can dream. But, yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited to see where this goes. And obviously you understand why FD made an exception for Manoa. He's one of the top drivers in the damn world. Like, Manoa says you can drive like 4 rounds. You say, okay, cool. You can drive 4 rounds. It's freaking Manoa, dude. Like, you say yes to that all day. He's such an icon. He's already an icon in the sport, I feel like. And he's like 17. So, you say yes to Manoa. At least FD had the sense to do that. Also, I don't think they would have 32 drivers. Like, literally that means some events were only having 32 drivers. Like, there is nobody getting eliminated because that's all we have. You know, that's kind of sad. It's unfortunate, really. I was hoping for I personally was hoping for an increase in drivers, and we got a decrease in drivers this year, which sucks. But it's understandable. The economy is not in a great spot. It's kind of shit, unfortunately. But All right, guys, I am probably going to end it off here. I want to say a huge thank you for checking out the stream. If you guys did like it, always appreciate a like, subscribe. Trying to work on some stuff on the channel right now. I got a couple DDM IRL videos on my personal car that are going to be coming out of me just learning a lot of this stuff that we're doing on the car. Is my first time ever doing a lot of this stuff, and it's been a really cool experience. And if you guys like that stuff, you would check it out. It's obviously different than my FD content, but I'm also partially just kind of trying to document my little bit of what I do and a little bit of my life, because I think it's good for me. I want it to be something to look at back in like 10, 20 years and be like, oh, I remember when my first drift car, when I did all this stuff wrong and all that stuff. So I think it'll be cool for me personally. So if you guys like it, then check it out. If not, we will have a ton of FD content coming out this year. We are still going to be doing DDM IRL content at both FD and Drift Masters this year, where we'll have film some behind the scenes stuff. And I think you guys will have a lot of fun with that stuff. And obviously we'll be live streaming as much as we can at both of those events. I'm obviously doing all 8 FD rounds. I think it's, as of right now, I don't want to say anything about Drift Masters, because I don't think it's going to be all 7, but it will be a lot of them that I'm going to. The schedule's insane if I do all of them. So it'll be a lot of them though, and whatnot. So yeah, like I said,